Hi guys, my name is Shay Mystery and I've been a puzzle trainer for quite a while now, so I thought I'll just give some advice. So today I wanted to talk about the 4 most common fears women have when going to the gym and their solutions. Now, one of the most common fears is being judged. Now this is shared by both men and women, and you know, we think like, you know, what if I look stupid in the gym? What if I do an exercise wrong?
The fuck is this guy doing?
You know, these are kind of thoughts that pass through our head when we first go into the gym. But it's important to note, especially for example, if you're carrying a lot of body fat and you're overweight, the bigger you are and the more body fat you have, you'll eventually start dropping that body fat off, and people will notice in the gym. They will start complimenting you. So basically what I'm trying to say is there's actually light at the end of the tunnel. Initially it may seem hard, but it gets much better. If you are afraid to go to the gym, it's important that, you know, you have to have fear to have courage. So it's okay to a certain extent to be afraid, especially if you're starting something new. You're out of your comfort zone at the end of the day. Now, I want to keep this simple and I don't want to complicate anything.
I'm pregnant.
Yeah, basically, for you to put on muscle, you need to, number 1, be in a calorie surplus. That means you need to eat more food, eat more calories than what you consume. Another big factor is for you to put on significant amount of muscle. It is very dependent upon, you know, the hormones that you have. For example, men have testosterone, and that plays a big part in building muscle. Now, I'm not saying you can't build muscle, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very difficult to look like this. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of men out there want to look built and lean, and even they struggle. I mean, it takes them years and years to get to that kind of level. Now, third fear is by far the most common one out of all of them, and it's the fact that if a man pervs on you or makes you feel uncomfortable in the gym or hits on you or something like that. Now, I've come up with 3 solutions which I think, if I was female, this is how I would deal with it. First one is the most hardest one, and it is simply to ignore him. So that is to focus on your exercise and really focus your mind and attention on what you are doing. That is I understand that it's far easier said than done. For that reason, the second solution might be a little bit more aggressive, but it has various advantages, and that is to question him in the gym and do it loudly. So say, excuse me, do you have a problem? Do you need something? Because you keep looking at me. Now, this can lead to 2 basic things. But either really make him feel uncomfortable and he'll never ever look at you again. If there's any other guys who see that and they're thinking of like staring at you or making you feel uncomfortable, then they will probably be put off, as you've basically put that guy on the spot. Yeah, that's what could be the outcome. However, I also understand that you probably don't want to cause attention in the gym in the first place, so this might not be a good solution. So that being said, the third solution could be a very logical approach where you approach that guy and say, yo man, you're making me feel uncomfortable. Now, if he has any ounce of respect, he will back off, and if he doesn't and his response is like this:
how many times do I have to tell you I have a boyfriend?
Well, you look like the kind of girl that could use 2.
We have a problem. So if that's the case, the best thing to do is simply go to the staff in charge and simply tell them, and they should deal with the situation. Number 4, vulnerability with clothing. So some of you ladies out there won't understand this, but some of you will get exactly what I'm talking about, and that's vulnerability with tight clothing. Yeah, I'm talking about spandex and those tight leggings. Yeah. No, but seriously, a lot of you would say, well, if you are uncomfortable wearing tight clothing, why wear it? But then there's those set of women who'll be like, if I don't wear that type of clothing, everything will jiggle. They probably are uncomfortable in both cases, wearing tight clothing and things jiggling around. So what would be the solution? Wear the tight clothing, and then on top of that, buy thin layered clothing, so that goes on top of your tight clothing. Therefore, everything stays in place, and also you have the clothing that goes on top, so you don't feel vulnerable because people can't see anything. So those are 4 solutions which can practically help you out in the gym. So ladies, I hope that helps, and I hope you make some female gains. Till next time, bye bye.